Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, Mr. Speaker, I think it's important to talk about change for a second. And I think there are a lot of eyes, both here in Pennsylvania and all around the country, watching Pennsylvania. You know, my belief is that people in my district and yours and all around the country wonder whether Pennsylvania is actually capable of change. And they point to this system. You heard earlier, we're one of only 2 states left that do it this way, that control it all. Are all of the other 48 states wrong? Of course not. We are, yet again, one of the last states capable of moving forward. I heard my good friend, the gentleman, the chairman from Montgomery, or from Bucks County, state that if we did this, if we actually privatized the system, that somehow the social fabric here in our state would, be torn asunder. Has that happened in the other 48 states where there is no control? Of course not. We all know that to be the case. Those are important issues, but they are not issues that are tied up with whether you control or don't control the sale of wine and spirits. And I heard my good friend, the gentleman from Philadelphia, the minority chairman of the Labor Committee, say that, we have these good family-sustaining public sector jobs and we've got to keep them. And I ask you this, when a government makes a decision, let's say to nationalize defense, or to nationalize the oil industry, or to nationalize farming, or to nationalize banking, and that's a mistake, or maybe the reason for the nationalization goes away because the war has ended. Does the government forevermore have to continue to employ those people and do that public sector work, even if the reason has long ago disappeared? The answer is obviously no. A government must have the ability to make changes, to get with the program, and to keep up with the times and with its people. And I am privileged as one member from the 157th District to be able to actually stand here before you, the outcome not yet known, and debate this issue that I believe for probably going on 40 years in my district, people have scratched their heads and said, what on earth is the state doing in this business? Get out of it. The private sector can do it. And I am sure the representatives who stood in this seat before me always wanted this opportunity, but it was only today that we got to the point, after I think 80 years, where we could actually seriously debate this issue. And there are people in this room, I think we know who they are, who have worked tirelessly on this for going on 10 years to make it happen. So I feel privileged, and I am absolutely grateful to all of those who have done this to get us to this point. Finally, let me just say this. I think that we need to do this so that we treat our citizens, our constituents, like they're adults. You know what? God forbid an individual in Pennsylvania would be able to go into one store and buy beer and wine and liquor. What do you know? The earth would come to a halt if we allowed that to happen. How about this? You could actually go into one of those stores and buy a 6-pack instead of a case. Oh my gosh, can you imagine that we would give that kind of freedom of choice to individuals in this state? Wow. And finally, how about this? When you go to the grocery store and you buy, say, lettuce or paper towels or Frosted Flakes, now you can't yet under this legislation purchase beer unless there's an R license, but you might actually be able to pick up a bottle of wine. I support this legislation because I think once and for all, it starts treating Pennsylvanians like the adults that they are. Thank you very much.